Oh, okay. So he looks like he's older.
Oh no, poor horsey.
So it's like,
Which is funny because it's like he could have not, but you know.
Oh.
Ew.
Hi, Pink Ranger Gamer here, and welcome back to Notorious PRG Reactions. We are back with Vinland Saga episode 6, and this is a first reaction. If you've been here before, you know Pink Ranger and Bluebonnet. It is our first reaction. Treebeard has been guiding us along, and so he's gonna help sum up what happened in episode 5.
so in the last episode, we see a lot of Thorfinn dealing with the shock and the trauma of his father Thor's being murdered. He sets off and stows away on the ship that was taken by Askeladd and his crew. So he's following Askeladd's men around as they raid and pillage villages, and so he gets sort of a first experience with the horrors of war, and he attempts to get revenge for his father by killing Askeladd, but since he's a child and Askeladd's an experienced warrior, that doesn't go particularly well for him. We see him go through a bit of growth, learning to fight a little bit for his, low standard. They leave him alive just almost out of entertainment value, but he's quite determined to stick with them and continue fighting. And Askeladd promises him that if he proves himself on the field of battle, Askeladd will grant him another duel.
And I definitely think it's introduced one of, if not a central theme to at least this season. I mean, we'll see. I don't know what time frame, being a first reactor, a central theme to at least, like I said, this season, because I don't know how he's going to be throughout the whole season, is vengeance, like you were mentioning, for his father's death. But we're going to find out more as we go. So let's go see where episode 6 takes us. Okay.
This feels great! Now we can wash away all the fleas.
Ew.
So gross.
Hey, kid, what are you doing sitting in the corner like that? Come over here.
Fall off and the sea serpent will eat you.
Oh, okay. So he looks like he's older.
In the Middle Ages, many Danish sailors and warriors pillaged their way through the settlements of Northern Europe. They were known as Vikings.
I feel like that could have been in episode 1.
The Vikings were thrust into a war between the two nations, with the single goal of defeating the unyielding English forces.
They're so terrible. Like, half the time they wouldn't even bother to clear off battlefields.
Yeah.
They leave bodies there to decompose,
That's
be eaten.
bad.
Wow. The journey begins.
Looks like we missed quite a battle out here.
Oh, poor baby.
This spot looks good.
Not exactly child friendly.
Central
was the
England near
first bit, though.
Gainsborough. Oh, Thorfinn, you need that nutrition.
How are there so many bugs? It's still better than freezing. We have to earn what we can this time of year.
That's true, but there's less bugs up in the cold. They're not used to it.
7 pounds of gold, plus all the Lord's food and loot. And the women will be ours too.
5 pounds. The rest is yours.
It's a deal.
I like how muscular all the animals are in the show.
It's for a job. Deal just
Oh yeah, I remember that cow in the beginning.
Then we should eat up.
That horse was so shredded.
It's just an animal gym somewhere involved bench pressing.
Looks like we're surrounded.
Oh no, poor horsey.
Hey, here! Why are you guys always so loud?
That was a lot of arrows for that one horse. Man.
So this is the English?
This would be the English ambushing them.
Okay.
The English were renowned.
Post-meal workout?
The English longbow was like the longest range weapon at this time, I think.
I bet they're confused when people charge in at them like that. They've got their bows out.
Prove yourself on the field of battle,
Oh no.
and I'll reward you with a proper duel.
I mean, I know it's normal in like any age in any country to have kids on the battlefield, but like
That's a little young even for this time.
I had an ancestor he was 7. He was a drummer for the Revolutionary War. He did the that was the commands. You know, they would whatever the generals would do, he'd beat out the orders on the drum. I'm like,
That's odd.
yeah.
My mistake. I thought you were dead.
And I mean, this was 700 years before that.
Did not see Askeladd saving Thorfinn coming. It's like he almost has this weird, like, care for him for a very unknown, confusing reason.
Told you that reluctant guardian.
Yeah, it's weird.
It's almost like he feels guilt for killing the Thors. So he's like,
Which is funny because it's like he could have not, but
Oh no.
Poor baby.
Mm-hmm. There you go. It's like showing the first kill is one thing, but showing the aftermath is it's gonna show how good the creators are.
I almost wonder if Askeladd had like a similar sort of experience in his childhood to Thorfinn, and if that's like why he kind of identifies with him a lot. So like living as a pirate, that would make sense. I honestly find it impressive that he's like dodging all these swords and just killing him with his dagger.
probably aren't used to fighting someone that small.
Yeah, but it's just why. I mean, he's talented in a little bit sort of way.
Oh, but you let go of the dagger. Now you're dead. That's not realistic in wartime.
So he just saved Askeladd?
Doesn't want anyone else to kill him.
Fair enough.
Okay, so now he's a spy.
Keep him pinned. I'm gonna kill him.
It's disturbing to me how many of the men just are completely unfazed by killing a kid.
Mm-hmm. One thing is, all soldiers are enough, they probably already have.
I didn't think as much with like the Englishmen and stuff, but I guess maybe so.
But they might have fought against them.
I guess, but still.
Don't let him get away!
This just looks like little, like, pugs. I can't tell what those are supposed to be.
Natural for them to be upset about such a thing.
Mother, you really shouldn't say things like that in front of other people. If one of the soldiers were...
Oh?
Mother! Mother, look!
Eastern England, East Anglia. Oh, there's another puppy dog on the screen. Is that your buddy?
Oh, cute.
Honey, it's your friend.
Oh, you're awake.
Oh.
Come, sit down here. Break bread with us.
It's like, well, okay.
You must have been starving before we found you.
That's an understatement.
What's your name, child?
Mm-hmm.
Where's your family?
Oof. Too soon.
If I left an injured child lying there, Jesus would never forgive me.
Mm-hmm.
I know.
Oh.
Ew.
This kid's covered in fleas! Stop scratching! They'll just jump into the food!
Gross. Man, I don't even know what you do about that back then. I wonder what they do.
Every time he started, I would brush his hair as well. He got a cold and left us for heaven.
Oh. I was wondering where the boys' clothes came from.
I only understand little bit of your language.
This feels ironic.
Not English.
About to be like, if they're raising him to be a spy, like he's got to know a little bit.
The boy that we've been looking for is roughly his size. Report to us if you see him.
That's sweet.
Yeah. They're gonna die, but it was the right thing to do.
I hope not. Hopefully he can protect him or something, but yeah.
Why would you protect him like this?
He can't protect them from the Vikings, though.
To be that way.
He's just one kid.
Yeah.
He's going to cause nothing but trouble. And besides, a filthy Dane can't replace John.
It's interesting how the sisters have both
I'm
been
going to the
alike in
soldier
that way.
and telling him.
His sister behaved the same way.
Those who have just experienced less just easily buy into the, well, I'm told Danes are the enemy, Danes are the enemy. Told, slavery.
Well, but even when they're told not, because
Mhm.
obviously their parents are better than them.
Where's the signal?
It should be any time now. I can see it! Right there!
Oh, he was trying to protect them.
And the run for the signal.
For the raid.
Fire!
I wonder if they did.
And I'm gonna make you pay!
Why would he stay by the signal?
How?
He knows his team's showing up.
He'd wait for the team to show up, like.
That's brutal.
He's probably not worried about the amount of soldiers that are here. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Oof.
No.
Hey, what is that?
It's just becoming one of them.
Stop messing around. Finish them off before the reinforcements get here.
Yeah.
That was messed up.
For a few hours, he felt a piece of his home and his family.
It's just like a burning torch.
That was rough.
Oh gosh, yeah.
Dad would not be proud.
No.
Yeah, that's what he was warning about.
Mm-hmm. He knew exactly what was going to happen.
And the whole culture is, this is just the way it is. This is just the way you live. It's so easy to just get apathetic, like you can see, where it's like he doesn't feel anything for it anymore. The first one, he's throwing up and disgusted with his own actions, but then just by the end of the episode, a few years in, doesn't feel anything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's the self-defense mechanism, that apathy.
He's being raised with that. I mean, he's raising himself.
Yeah. Exactly. I mean, he might be with the mercenaries and with Askeladd, who is definitely growing as a source of influence on him. But like you said, he's raising himself. I mean, definitely shout out to the creators. I think they do a really good job at pulling on your heartstrings and just making you be disgusted just by the violence of it all. That was a powerful episode. Oh, I went through the whole episode again. It was another episode that I didn't write anything down.
That's fair. Definitely a lot of good stuff in this one. Yeah, just continually philosophical, but psychological. Just reflecting on your circumstances of being raised, who it can make you become or not become.
And I feel like this episode, kind of going to I know we normally talk about what the title means. The journey begins. This is like the first episode where you're really focused exclusively on Thorfinn.
Mm-hmm.
No other main character, just Thorfinn. And you start seeing that growth with him.
Yeah.
Obviously not exactly in a positive direction, but it's still growth, it's still change.
I'm glad we still see that glimpse of humanity left. You can tell he feels ashamed of his actions still, but apathetic enough to just be like, what am I to do, basically? I wonder if that's going to be that little glimpse that we kind of hold on to his progression, and see if he stays any amount human at all or not.
I think with how it started, and it did a little intro about like who the Vikings are and the political saga of Vikings and their attack on England, or specifically Danish Vikings and their attack on England. I feel like this is like the first true episode. Does that make sense? Like this, everything else was prologue, because this felt
very much the start of Thorfinn's story.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just like even it felt. I was like, I think at one point I was like, oh, they could have said this for episode 1 and this is the story of the Viking. Like, this is a story about Vikings. But I think it's that they did that intentionally because everything else was prologue. But his story is very much a part of like where he comes from, and the loss of the stability and security of his peaceful Icelandic village and his family. And the center of gravity that was his father in his early childhood, and the values that his father was trying to instill in him. I think this is truly episode 1 or comparing it to Star Wars. I think this is the original.
Mm-hmm. The rest were the prequels.
Yeah, the rest were the prequels.
Yeah, I get that. Yeah,
which was still good. I mean, the father story is a good story.
It really changes it, having Thor's story in it.
Yeah, if they tried to do the first 5 episodes just as like a flashback or a few flashbacks, it wouldn't have the same impact as giving you 5 full-length episodes of this building up.
It really changes how like psychological and philosophical it is. I really like the almost sort of trolley problem you get with the English villagers, with the mother and daughter, with the, she is living by like her morals and being kind, saving Thorfinn. Mm-hmm. And, in that she served her sort of, good duty of like saving those in need. But that did also like in turn lead to, the whole village getting ransacked and killed, so then there's the other side of that almost trolley problem, like with, what if she didn't save Thorfinn? What if she had, some idea or knew that like he was like the scout or something, and she, didn't save him or turned him in or something, then ends up saving the whole village. It's kind of another kind of philosophical vein of like, which is the right to do, which is more right, more wrong, what would you do? Which is interesting.
Yeah. I mean, she could have taken the utilitarian approach and done one bad thing of like not saving him and then saving the many, or do the right thing in the moment.
Argue, is it bad? Like if she turned him in knowing he was the scout, like is it bad since she knows at that point? Like it's just interesting. It's kind of like when good and bad become sort of blended. It's like how do you even determine what's good and bad in those situations?
Yeah, because you can say it's bad to have turned him into the English soldiers, but at the same time, you look at it from a perspective that's not Thorfinn as the protagonist, and it's this guy killed several soldiers.
Mm-hmm.
He should be turned into
more going back to the original point of contact of saving your enemy's life.
Oh, sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just brings in, like saving the enemy, but also, killing a bunch of others in the process of doing so.
Yeah.
It's like, what are you necessarily achieving at the end? The whole idea of like, is it sometimes better and more good to, sacrifice one for the others? Or, is there no question, even though at the end of the day, you're still sacrificing some people at the end by saving this person, It's like either way, you're ultimately sacrificing. So it's interesting.
Yeah. The conundrum, would you kill child Hitler to prevent all that damage?
Yeah.
I mean, obviously we don't know that. Not saying that Thorfinn is comparative to Hitler. We don't know the story. But still, it's your enemy who could lead to that much damage.
Yeah, that's hard.
How are you feeling about Askeladd at this point in the journey?
Intrigued. I don't like him because I still ultimately don't think he's a very good person. But like, it's interesting, that he's not just pure flat antagonist sort of character. It's like he and Thorfinn are going back and forth saving each other, which is odd. It almost gives me like the feeling of Stockholm syndrome a little bit with like Thorfinn saving Askeladd, which Treebeard pointed out, a good point of like, well, he wants to be the one to kill him, but there's still this sort of interesting, almost Stockholm syndrome in that a little bit of just like staying with them, very much so in the being willing to sacrifice a village instead of just getting away with them, because he absolutely could have just stayed there and like lived in that village and not signaled them or told them and like, you know, been a deserter or something. And then like they might have been able to defeat Askeladd and stuff. So that's very much in that regard. Like that's not even about just being the one to kill Askeladd at that point. So it's just really interesting, this sort of weird loyalty they almost have to each other at this point, and weird respect for each other, even though there's still that ground of distaste a little bit, which I almost don't even feel like Askeladd has any sort of distaste for Thorfinn. I feel like it's just like byproduct. It's just kind of like he doesn't really care about anyone at the end of the day.
Yeah.
But he doesn't particularly have a distaste for Thorfinn. But like Thorfinn, it's like almost this weird, like a little bit there, but it's almost like it's lessening over time. He's getting like more and more almost loyal to him.
Yeah, no, yeah. I agree. I think Stockholm syndrome is like a good way to describe it. And I think part of that is because his survival depends on, you know, at the beginning, his survival is depending on the mercenaries, you know, the crumbs that he can get from them. Askeladd does, you know, risk his life for him, and he's learning from them. You know, he's learning how to take care of himself and how to survive in battle. And I think for Askeladd, you know, we've mentioned before, I think at the very beginning, it's respect for Thor's, and then a little bit of the entertainment value. They're like, hey, look at this kid, you know, they're all like, it's kind of funny. I don't know enough quite about Askeladd yet. Maybe we'll get some flashbacks. I think you mentioned like it'd be interesting to see like a kid version and see like if he had similar history of, you know, violence from a young age, which would fit for the time for anybody, really.
Absolutely.
It is definitely a culture that does value the battle prowess. So like being able to get that good that fast would be impressive to Askeladd. With Thorfinn, I think it is just a harsh reality that he does have, I mean, that's his central component to him right now, is he wants to duel and kill the man who killed his father, that revenge. Yeah. But it becomes that really tough contrast, and I think it'll become like a couple of the central focuses for him it's emphasizes the contrast with but now he's starting to slowly, I think we're going to see the loyalty come up, because in order to earn the right to duel him, he has to prove to the very person who he wants to kill that he has earned enough battle prowess to meet him on the battlefield. So like it's this weird duality, this weird dynamic of you're the person I hate the most, but also you're the person whose respect I need to earn the most. So, and I'm sure that also beats himself, you know, most of us are our harshest critics. So I'm sure that also beats himself up inside that's happening for what someone that age can recognize emotionally. Sorry, Treebeard, it sounded like you were trying to say something.
Oh no, I was just agreeing. Yeah, it's very much, he doesn't necessarily want to work for Askeladd, though I think he's probably getting to the point where there's this mutual respect between the two of them. He can respect, just because in his culture this is a thing that is looked highly upon, that Askeladd is a good commander and a good strategist, and Askeladd can now respect not just Thor's, and so extend that to Thorfinn, but he can respect Thorfinn for his own talents and skills. And so even though Thorfinn still hates Askeladd, he can respect him.
Yeah.
And so there's this change in the relationship where there's just not as much the hot-blooded hatred. Is just like, this is still my goal, I still want to kill you, but for now we'll work together.
Yeah.
Anyone want to go more in depth about what the title means, The Journey Begins? Or do you think we covered it?
Well, I know Treebeard kind of went over that a little bit earlier, in the idea of this being the first true episode about like Thorfinn and kind of his growing up, you know, like his journey really starting to take off and seeing like where his life's going to go, what he's going to kind of encounter.
Yeah, I agree. There's a little bit of contrast between, we're seeing, I think Askeladd is strong, not just because like we saw with like Thor's was strong because he was just brute force, man. Like, right? He was just a giant, a one-man army. I think Askeladd, there's a little contrast in the type of warrior he is. I think he's a little bit more like the strategist, a little bit more like the cunning, the calculating character. So it'll be interesting to see just more types of characters within the Viking community. You know, they've hinted at with like cutscenes of like historical figures It'd be interesting to see if they actually come into play in like our main characters and supporting characters, like if there's actually more interaction with that. Because it feels like it's leading up to like, I don't know, like I say Game of Thrones, but not Game of Thrones style, like fantasy and whatnot, but like of the political drama. It feels like we're leading up into that genre, which I mean, Game of Thrones is actually based off of the War of Roses, which is an English battle for the throne. So it'll be interesting to see if we do that, like the English versus Vikings battle for the...
Because it takes place in true historical events, there is a lot of that you see going on that effectively did happen. You know, it's a fictional story, but very real events and pretty realistic take on them. And there are some more historical characters. Obviously, we already have Leif Erikson. There are more true historical characters that will show up and be actually pretty central to later parts of the show.
I'm excited for that. I mean, because I feel like since, like we said, this is like the first, like the first episode of the original, right? We're outside the prequel trilogy. Put it back in Star Wars terms. So I feel like for the prequel or the prologue of it all, it was more a narrow lens. Like we were zoomed in, so we could get, understand, and set the foundation. So it'll be interesting to be able to zoom out a little bit more. And I'm excited to see that. You know, final thoughts on this episode or where we're going?
Not in particular.
Just a recap, episode 6, The Journey Begins. It was a very emotionally wrought episode, in my opinion. We did see Thorfinn age. I feel like this was our first age bump for Thorfinn outside of like the very, very intro of the very first episode when coming into play, from his sister being a baby to him. We got some training montages of him turning from young boy to spy for Askeladd, and definitely seeing the beginning of him earning Askeladd's attention with his growing combat abilities and the tension within himself wanting to kill Askeladd in a duel to avenge the death of his father, but having the desire to also earn his loyalty in order to get that duel that he wants. So the tension and the contrast and the conflict within him over the desire to both kill and earn loyalty from the same man. And we will see where this quest for vengeance takes Thorfinn in the next episode. Thank you so much for watching this episode of Notorious PRG Reactions. And thank you to my guest stars.
I'm Bluebonnet.
And I'm Treebeard.
And don't forget, you can watch the next episode 1 week early over on Patreon, link in the description below, or you can spend time with us on the other streaming service, link also in the description below. And until next time, I'm pinkrangergamer. Thank you so much for watching this Vinland Saga reaction. For more Notorious PRG reactions, click over here. Push the button. Push the button.